Oh, yeah, Manny.
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone?
Hey,
we
everybody.
are back.
We're live. Welcome to the Ask Senpai show.
It is I, Cody.
I'm Manny.
He's Manny.
Yeah.
New year, new stream. Everyone's back from the holidays, including us.
Yeah. Life's returning a little bit back to normal.
Yes, a little bit. Slightly too normal, which isn't always the greatest of things. But that's all right, because today we have a lot of things to actually talk about. I'm actually pretty excited for today. For everyone who is joining us or possibly will join us, what's going on? We are excited to be here.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot on the docket for today, a lot of anime, a little bit of comics, not too much games, but that's okay. It's not always going to be a well-balanced newscast, if you will.
No, never.
But that's the whole point. That's why we wanted to diversify.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot more things to talk about in one case than the other than we should, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, new year, new stream.
Yes.
2019 has begun.
It has.
It's weird. I'm still running 2018 on stuff.
Yes. Well, there was a lot of stuff that came out in 2018, especially in the later half of it. And the catch-up game is never over.
No.
Never, ever over. What's going on? Who's that? Orlando? What's up, James?
What up, Toby?
What's up? If you're just joining us, we just started, and we're going to be talking about a couple awesome things.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things on the list today is more or less Young Justice.
Yeah.
And the return of it.
The return of Young Justice. So, full disclosure, I have not started yet.
Mm-hmm.
I am waiting for enough episodes to be out so that I can get the DC service for 1 month and watch all of Titan and all of Justice League in that 1 month.
So
Young Justice.
Young Justice, yes. So do you know off the top of your head how many years we've been waiting for Young Justice, the new season, the continuation, after this ridiculous cliffhanger?
I haven't counted. It's been easily like 6 years, maybe more. Dang. Like it's been a while.
Years. Yeah,
it's been a while. I know a lot of people online because they make those Facebook events or Facebook pages. Let's save Young Justice and all that stuff, and even those pages died like
a couple years ago.
Yeah, like
they gave up.
They're like, all right, it's not happening.
I think they needed saving.
They're like, oh, we tried.
That's too funny.
So we've been waiting for a while, and I'm glad it finally got made. Like, because Young Justice,
beyond deserved a continuation, and to not be canceled in the first place.
Regardless about how you feel about DC or superhero shows or even animated series in general, everything about the show is great.
Yes,
the animation is great. It's well written. The voice acting is great. Everything they do for this show, I applaud. It's fantastically well done.
Yes.
So the fact that we had a huge cliffhanger at the end of season 2 and it canceled, I was like, what?
It hurt me deep.
This is literally a top tier show. What is going on here?
So Young Justice is back. For anyone who doesn't know, but I feel like we shared enough for most of the people who actually care about this show to know about it. If you haven't seen Young Justice at all, highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Yes.
You have 2 seasons of greatness awaiting you, and season 3 just started. So I was on DC Universe's website earlier, at work, whatever, and they're doing like 3 episodes at a time, which I found weird, because if you have this whole new season ready to go, already done,
just launch it.
Just launch on Netflix, dog.
Or even if it's on your stream, just launch the whole thing at once.
Just launch the whole thing at once.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let the binge be a binge.
So this is why I truly love Netflix. They're seasoned at this streaming game. I think they're releasing it slowly, so it still feels like TV.
Well, yeah, but Netflix isn't releasing this. It's a DC Universe.
No. I'm talking about DC, the stream DC Universe. Yeah. They're releasing it slowly, so it still feels like TV. You still have to wait for it.
There were people
that have to pay for it continuously.
I've had conversations with people and they say the binging is going to kill Netflix.
No.
And if anything has proven the opposite. It has proven that Netflix is crushing it right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushing the streaming game.
Binging made Netflix.
Before we start handing off crowns, back to Young Justice. Young Justice is back. Highly anticipated. I mean, dude, everything I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for Superboy again. I've been waiting for Nightwing, older Nightwing.
And it's a Superboy that I like, too.
Yes.
I deeply enjoy Young Justice's Superboy.
I need to know more information based off season 2 cliffhanger that hurt me deep. And just where the whole crew is. Like, I need to know.
Yeah.
And I have, and maybe this is a personal issue. Oh, what's up, Noel? I miss you so much, dude. I 100% have to visit you.
Yeah,
whether you're
we definitely got to stop by that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like he's most of the time at the Florida Mall
That's
location.
fine. We'll take a trip. Take a trip, Noel.
Then
one of these days.
Lee Vista. I live so far now. I hate it. Like, it's almost an hour drive to the Lee Vista location, let alone the Florida Mall, which is like hour and a half, maybe more. But I miss Noel so much. We need to have a long conversation, Noel.
Yep.
But back to what we were talking about. Also, I saw the post today. I'll probably message you directly about that. I'm sad, but we'll talk about that later. So Young Justice is back, and I don't appreciate this streaming wall because this is my thing. So I feel like there was so much heat to get this show back from the people who truly appreciated it, even people who were like, oh, it got canceled for toy sales, I'm gonna buy a crap ton of toys, and I don't even like toys, like myself. And for them to bring it back behind this service wall of DC Universe, what the hell? No.
So I agree. I think we're hitting a wall we're hitting the wall of the realm of too many streaming services.
Yes.
I can absolutely agree with that. VRV was one solution for that. And I love the idea of VRV.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I was watching with Gabriel the other day. He's like, Verve? He read it just
he
like that.
He immediately knew it?
Yeah.
We thought VRV was supposed to be called VRV.
Yeah.
And it was apparently Verve. Like, I saw a brief commercial about it. I was like, no, you're wrong. I don't care if you created this. It's VRV.
Yeah.
So a VRV, for anyone who doesn't know, that is a streaming service where, in addition to many other channels, it was primarily Crunchyroll and Funimation, and you pretty much had access to, if not all, majority of the Crunchyroll streaming lineup,
almost everything
of their shows and anime.
It was like 98%.
And the Funimation exclusive anime. So like, I'm watching weekly stuff on Verve from Crunchyroll, and then whatever dubs I'm watching and waiting for, it's also on there from Funimation, all in one monthly payment. You don't have to worry about the two streaming services.
Yep.
On paper, I thought this was great. I was super excited. I enjoyed it. And we'll talk about the whole relationship with Crunchyroll and Funimation later on. But now, like you were saying, we are entering this era where we have DC Universe, where if you want to watch the live action Titans, you have to have that streaming subscription only. And I want to say it's like $7 or $8 a month versus having like Netflix or Hulu. Even if this show is airing weekly on normal cable, I mean, just drop on Hulu or something. Yeah. Opposed to closing and funneling heavily the potential audience, the potential people that you want to watch this show. Because last time I checked, the more people watching it, the stronger the likelihood of this show continuing. And from what I've heard, initial reactions from diehards, critics, I mean, they're always wishy-washy, but for Titans, the live action has been pretty positive.
Yeah,
a lot of people were like, I downed it just based off the trailer and character costumes, but it's actually turning out really, really good. So now you have this show that's near and dear to myself because it has been canceled before when it shouldn't have. That's how good this show was. It was one of the best things airing.
In Young Justice.
Yeah. And Young Justice. And now you put this behind a subscription wall. Like, I can't wait for the whole season to drop on Netflix. And I can't wait the day after it aired on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, whatever for it to watch on Hulu.
Yep. Nope. You have to get the whole... You have to wait for it weekly and pay for it monthly.
And it's another $8, and it's like, okay, $8, that's a Chipotle bowl or something. But when you start compounding these things, especially for anime watchers, if you have a Crunchyroll, and since VRV, they no longer have the relationship, now you need Funimation again.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Now you need Netflix because Netflix has some original anime of its own.
Crushing it.
But now all of a sudden, Young Justice is back. Let me watch the crap out of that.
And Amazon's still a thing. They still have anime on there.
Yeah, but their anime strike thing, like I want to say recently, is no longer. Like
it's part of Prime now.
So if I'm DC Universe or anyone at DC, especially with their animated stuff, I'm looking at Amazon as an example of what not to do. So Amazon Anime Strike or whatever it was called was what was not to do.
Was not to do. I agree.
So initially they started as you need a Prime membership and then you get the streaming service, blah 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 blah.
And then you pay additional for the channel.
No. Before you were able to stream on there just with a Prime membership.
Okay, yeah.
And not only now, and most recently, you need a Prime membership and
the channel
to pay the monthly subscription in order to watch their exclusive anime. And they were giving some heavy hitters, the reverse animation shows, as we refer to them.
No Tamina.
Yeah, no Tamina. Some phenomenal shows.
They had Made in Abyss.
Yeah, they had Made in Abyss. They had Welcome to the Ballroom.
Yeah.
I want to say they were going to get that archery anime that we were talking about. So, like, some really heavy hitters. And now you're behind a streaming wall again.
Yeah.
And the average anime watcher, and I'm saying this loosely, it's not to offend anyone, but I don't think they're going to be dishing out a Crunchyroll Funimation and an Amazon Prime membership and an Amazon subscription.
No, they're not doing all that.
Just to watch their seasonal anime. No.
I know a lot of people that, one, they only watch battle anime.
Yep.
Which
or
is,
shonen,
which is the right, which is for the main part, that is the average anime watcher. They mainly watch stuff with superpowers.
Well, the numbers do prove that.
I mean, yeah. So they primarily watch what's on Netflix because they're already going to have a Netflix for their TV shows.
Yep.
And then whatever they can Blockbuster for some other rinky-dink site to watch Dragon Ball.
So whenever you hear us use the term Blockbuster, we're talking about either pirating or downloading because Blockbuster no longer exists. So we've been using that term for 2008, 9, 10.
Something like that.
It's been a while, but we've been using it for a long time. Oh, hey, there's more people in. What's up?
What's up, y'all?
What's up? Oh, Jesus. What's up, Jesus? Over there in South Korea. Good luck on the upcoming trip, Vietnam. Also, looking forward to catch up when you are back.
Yes, sir.
Maybe get you in the studio. But yeah, so now we're encountering more and more streaming services, which isn't always a negative thing, but it's the exclusivity of it. It's for me to only be able to watch Young Justice, I can only watch on DC Universe.
Yes. Oh,
let me log into their catalog. And granted, they're just starting out, but outside of Titans, there's nothing else on there I'm interested in.
I mean, they got some good movies. They have all the animated movies.
Yeah, but so does Netflix and Hulu.
No, they don't have the DC animated movies.
They pulled those?
Yeah.
I watched Bad Blood and...
Oh, they have the select few. Yeah, you're right.
They do have a select few, but I mean, if you want all of it.
Right.
But this is compounding to another thing where it's like they're seeing these companies are seeing the monetary benefit in this. So now they're just like, well, we want in on that. So we're going to make our own streaming service, and it's just kind of building additional walls. For example, Disney.
We're getting back to cable.
Yeah,
which
we
is
are.
Exactly what we don't want.
We are. So if I'm adding up on average $8 to $10 per streaming service, now all of a sudden, in addition to my anime, but my normal cable TV shows I want to watch the day after on Hulu, and the one-offs like this, am I already at $5?
You're already at $50.
No.
And that's the whole point with a lot of people who cut cable.
And that's not good either because my freaking internet has gone up. Everyone has known that, especially in Orlando. Like, you have no internet options. But that's a whole different conversation. That's if I'm already dishing out almost $70 just for internet, I'm like, I'm already at $100 minimum.
Or at $120 just to use internet and watch TV shows.
Yeah, just so I can watch this week episode of Goblin Slayer and maybe the new episode of Young Justice. Me as an average consumer, I do not want to do that.
I do not want to do that. And you're right. Disney's going to jump into this, I think, either later this year or next year.
Right. So I need to dish out.
It's another service.
I need to dish out another $8 just to watch Moana for the 45th time. No, I don't want to do that. Granted, Disney, you're going to have a stacked catalog, but then it's like, who are you adhering to? Like, what is your customer base?
So here's the small difference, I think, with the Disney one. With the Disney one, from everything I've heard anyway, you're going to get a mix of everything. You're going to get the Disney movies, you're going to get the Disney TV shows, the Disney cartoons, and all the Marvel stuff. So it is its own Netflix in a sense, but just with
For
everything
Disney.
Disney. Yeah, you get movies like National Treasure. You'll get movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, excuse me.
Caribbean.
It's all family friendly stuff.
Right.
Where with the DC network, all you're getting is only superhero stuff. It's exclusive superhero. So if it was maybe like a Warner Brothers channel, I would be more inclined to that, I think. If I can get, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but all the Harry Potter movies, because that's Warner Brother. If that was all on there. Everything Warner Brother, in a sense, on one channel, would be a subscription I might go be in for. Maybe. But again, that's to broaden it. We're getting these $7 to $10 of subscriptions for a specific thing.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I don't like.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking at the consumer viewing tree, streaming branched off from the big trunk for a long time, which was just cable. And it became a larger and larger trunk. And now we're having these smaller one-off branches like the DC Universe, the Disney Plus or whatever, when they officially announce it, whatever it's going to be called. Hulu, Netflix, which is still, larger parts of it. But it's like, all of it just to be at the same endpoint. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Netflix needs to come in and only show every single thing. But, I don't know, maybe just give me an option to, like, a la carte the shows I want to watch or something. Like, but then you go back to the original issue of there's just one conglomerate company taking over all these streaming services.
Yeah.
So we'll call it Company Y or Company X for stream, whatever you want to call it. And they're like, we own a part of Netflix, Hulu, DC Universe, Amazon, blah 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 blah. For $25 a month, you can pick what show from which one of these streaming services. I feel like that would be a better step in a direction that I would prefer to go to when I'm looking at my overall like monthly cost. But then sometimes you're just sifting through Hulu and you're like, oh, like so whatever movie I haven't seen
Let's give that
in a
shot.
hot minute or something.
Yeah. No, I do that on Netflix. I'll do a scroll. I'll see an image. I'll read 5 words off of the description. I'm like, sure, why not?
Exactly.
Let's give it a try.
I don't know.
So,
I'm worried.
No, I'm right there with you. The subscriptions are piling up. It's too much. And here's the bad part too. Like, since the funny Crunchyroll split, wanting to stick with some of my Funimation dubs because they do make good dubs. I want to watch them.
No, I completely agree.
Now I only have one option again, which is to use the Funimation service. And if any of you have heard me speak about it before, the service is abysmal. It's terrible. It was only really a great service while it was on VRV. I did not use Funimation on the Funimation website because it is terrible.
But don't quote me, correct me if you know, but I want to say when I checked, like, the behind for the website, the actual layout and everything, that was powered by Crunchyroll. Like, Crunchyroll created the VRV Verve streaming website and app. And that's why it worked much better.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have no issue watching a Crunchyroll show right now.
No, I don't have issues with Crunchyroll. I have no issues with Verve either. Everything works fantastically. But when you go on Funimation, you try to use their app, you try to use any of their console apps, any of the TV apps, or just straight on their website.
Yeah.
Buffering is retardedly long. Like, it's ridiculous. I legit watched a one episode. I don't remember what show I was watching. I want to say it was the racing show we were watching forever ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it right now. But it took me like 40 minutes to watch one episode because it kept buffering on my PC, and I have good internet. I watch Netflix. I watch Crunchyroll all on the PC. Same thing. So something's totally wrong with the way that they do things in terms of optimization, and it drags the service down terribly. Yeah, which sucks because I like their shows. I like the way they do dubs,
and it's been proven like ease of access for the standard customer they're going to be driving. They're going to drive to your app first.
Absolutely.
Like I have primarily Netflix and Hulu. What do I usually default click? Netflix.
Yeah.
Even if I have a new episode of Atlanta or something I need to be watching on Hulu only, I'm like, do I want to deal with Hulu right now? Netflix. Because it's just I feel there's just additional clicks, additional steps, and call it what you will, lazy, whatever.
It's a design principle.
But that's where we're at right now.
No, legitimately, they'll teach you about it in school. It's a design principle. If you go to a website and you can't get to where you want to get to in 3 clicks, your website sucks.
Yeah,
it's the 3-click rule,
and they're gone.
And that's it. I'm going somewhere else for the information. It took me too long to get it.
Yeah.
Funimation, in most cases, it's like 12 clicks.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on Hulu in a while, but last time I looked, it's
similar.
It's 5 or more.
Yeah.
And it's too much. Now, it sounds like we're being lazy, but legitimately, it's what it is. It's the way our brain, the era that we're in now is instant gratification.
This is it. Yeah. This is it.
I'm here. I'm ready to watch now. Why am I still looking? I'm going somewhere else.
I'm gone already. I'm gone. You lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funimation. High Dive, I'm excited for. I haven't taken the dive yet, but I plan to. I've seen their lineup. They have some good stuff. They have Made in Abyss on there, bro. So I'm wondering if they're going to be snagging some of those shows that
from Amazon
was getting.
I'm so mad at Amazon. Like
they've ruined that year of anime for me.
No, multiple years. Amazon had like killer anime for multiple years, and not just a couple seasons, multiple years. And I was like,
unfortunately, I had to Blockbuster some of that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like doing that.
I had like to Blockbuster all of Made in Abyss weekly.
I like to give back to the anime community.
Absolutely.
So I will be getting High Dive. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Because they got some nice shows on there. I want to watch them.
Okay. I mean, if they have, well, I'm trying to think. Because the season just started, and a couple anime haven't started just yet. But for the most part, most of the heavy... Crunchyroll's whipping out dubs.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Let me remind you how
Crunchyroll
is whipping out dubs.
So, no, I remember because we talked about it a little bit in the Alliance, is somebody put it out that they're dubbing Rising of the Shield Hero, and Funimation's dubbing it too. And I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting on whose dub is going to be better, right? But the big middle finger Crunchyroll's giving to Funimation, in my opinion, is when Funimation does a dub, it comes out like a week and a half later, right?
Crunchyroll's dubs what, next day?
I want to say I read
Same
an
day?
hour after Japan.
Oh no!
I'm like, no, there's no way. But I read that they're co-producing the show, so if they have access to the scripts and all the voice acting they have to do, they can do that.
Exactly.
So I'm like, man, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but if they rolled the dice on a, and I've seen a lot of hype for this show. If they roll the dice on the right show and it hits, and they start getting deals for other shows, and you're dropping same day dubs.
Yep.
That's heavy.
So this is something that Crunchyroll will definitely have over Netflix. In terms of streaming, I think you and I agree Netflix is the king right now. In terms of streaming anime, Crunchyroll is the king.
I would say Crunchyroll is the king, but Netflix...
They're catching up.
If Netflix, and I understand this is the Netflix thing, drop the whole season at a time. Anime doesn't work that way for the most part.
For the most part.
If Netflix were able to drop me the anime, whether it's Japanese, English, French, whatever, because they love to dub in so many different languages before they drop it, in the same freaking season... I would be pretty happy.
Well, so that's exactly the point I was going to bring up. Crunchyroll is going to be dubbing the same day, or even if that's too soon, next day. Right? Next day dubs.
So they can drop the whole season on...
In 13 weeks. The whole season will be out. Dubbed. We're looking at Pocky the Grappler that came out, I think, January of last year. We still don't have all the episodes from Netflix.
We don't.
And I'm like, man, and the dub is great. Don't get me wrong. Netflix killed it. Like I
don't think it's a bad dub, but I actually prefer the Japanese.
Yeah?
Yeah. I played for at least 3 episodes, both. Like I watched in Japanese, I rewatched it in English, and I was like, I am on the fence. I'm on the fence, but
that's a sign of a good dub.
Sometimes.
Yeah. When you can't choose on which one you like, I think that's a sign of a good dub.
Yeah. But I did finish first season in Japanese. But yeah, that still goes back to that issue of turnaround time.
The turnaround time, absolutely. So in my opinion, if Crunchyroll keeps moving forward like this, Netflix is never going to overtake them in terms of streaming anime.
Yeah, but Netflix, I don't think they're out to overtake in streaming anime. However,
they're moving
they
up.
have been grabbing, like I said, it goes Crunchyroll, then Netflix for me. And that's taking into consideration, it took them almost a year to get me my damn Baki.
No, I agree with you.
And Baki's deep for me. It's real deep.
Their turnaround time is too slow for me, but with the amount of anime they bring, especially last year in 2018, I think they brought like a whole season worth of anime.
Yeah, maybe slightly more, but the anime they were bringing,
most of it's high quality.
yeah, 8 out of 10 in my opinion. I mean, I think they're dropping like that Egret Tsuko, that Neo Yokio bullshit. I'm like, no.
You know what though?
They were dropping some good stuff like that Kageguri.
It doesn't hit for me or you. I know a bunch of people who love the raccoon thing. I forget however you say it.
Agaretsuko?
Yeah, Agaretsuko.
Sure. Yeah, that thing.
I watched an episode. I was like, you know what? Now for me, I know so many people are like, yo, this is my jam.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but then almost in the same click, you click Violet Evergarden and you're like, what?
hey,
I'm never going back.
yes. Yes. So yeah, last year Netflix definitely dropped bombs for anime.
Mm-hmm. No, I do agree with that.
I just need faster turnaround time, please.
Yeah.
Like for real. A year is too long. That is absolutely abysmal.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I'll grudgingly accept 6 months.
Okay.
Grudgingly. For a 25 episode. Grudgingly accept 6 months.
Yeah.
3 months for a 12. Come on, Netflix. Let's get it together here.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a game changer. Crunchyroll's dropping their own dubs same day as the Japanese app coming out.
Yeah.
And this by no means is to down Funimation.
No.
If anything, this is to shed light on room for improvement beyond just the streaming and website layout of your app, of your actual physical website, etc. But I would just take note of the competition and why have you been around longer, but Crunchyroll has been pulling much more numbers than you.
They've been doing Simuldubs for what, like 2 years now?
Maybe longer, but still, just Funimation in general.
Yeah.
Like Funimation,
they've been around for forever.
Yeah, they've been around for a good minute.
They've been around for years, decade.
Yeah,
over a decade, I think.
So let's like just sit down and assess why the Young Bug, no longer Young Bug, Crunchyroll is pulling numbers, and you have still a potential another rung to be knocked down if High Dive starts crushing it too.
Oh man.
Because like, we've already said I'm still going to put Netflix over Funimation.
In terms of streaming anime, Funimation is bottom tier. That is my last result.
Your last result?
My last result.
That's hurtful.
I will Blockbuster, and if I can't find a good, like, if it's everything I find is 360p Blockbuster, then I'm gonna go to Funimation.
I disagree, but that's all right. I'm gonna give Funimation more credit than that. I'm going to give them slightly more credit.
That's how bad my experience was.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Yeah. So, anyway. Moving on.
Well, keep up with the anime. What's some good shows you recently finished up?
Some good shows I recently finished up. Zombieland Saga was one.
Zombieland Saga. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
I actually really enjoyed this. A lot of people were telling me about it, like, yo, you got to watch it. Mm-hmm. I finally let it finish, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna binge the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was gonna go in a different direction than it did.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the direction it did go. It's hilarious in the beginning, in my opinion. Like the first 2 to 4 episodes, so funny.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it becomes more serious with the comic relief moments peppered in.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, you have a bunch of zombies from different periods of time becoming an idol group. That's the premise of the show.
I'm not sure how I feel about the idol anime, but
I'm the same way with you. I don't watch these. Mm-hmm. I do not watch idol shows. But you put the zombie twist on, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see where this goes. Mm-hmm. The hilarity ensues from episode 1. It's a fantastic studio behind it in Mappa. So we already know it's going to be well animated and whatnot.
Hey, Mappa's been doing big things.
Mappa's crushing it, like always. That's exactly what I expect from Mappa. So the show had so much potential to begin with. Great studio, weird premise. I'm gonna go with weird premise, and I think it follows through all the way through. If it's finished, well, it's not finished. It's this first season is done at 12 episodes, and overall, good story.
Okay.
I enjoy it. You get to see backstories for each one of the girls. You get to learn about them and the time period they're from. Like, there was a girl who worked in a brothel at one point. Like, that's what time period she's from, that she's been brought back as a zombie.
Right.
And then you have a girl who died literally 2 years ago, and she's a zombie.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, this is cool. You have literally different generations of girls making one idol group, but they're all zombies. It's interesting.
So, is it a refreshing take on idol anime? Because idol anime is just increasing per season.
That's a weird thing, and I guess they do. Maybe they do well over there.
Yeah.
I don't hear that much buzz about it over here.
No, the U.S. is just like fucking thirsty for shonens left and right.
Yes,
left and right.
Judging from Crunchyroll, though, it's a lot of the world that's like that. Like when they put up their infographics of what's big over in South America, what's big in Africa, and it's freaking Black Clover, Boruto, and Dragon Ball, and My Hero Academia. And I'm like,
yeah, but also those are bigger shows. I feel like those are also more heavily promoted. I mean, I'm sure there's either someone or a chart out there showing the numbers of manga sales too, and Shonen's are going to be top tier.
Yeah.
I mean, Shonen Jump
Just how it goes.
in itself has been around how many years? So even just like the average person logging into Crunchyroll, you're probably going to see My Hero being promoted, Boruto, etc., before they are going to dive deeper into the show catalog, because it is extensive.
Oh, one of the big things you see on Crunchyroll specifically is right when you log in, there's the popular section.
Yeah.
And the first four actually are usually always a shonen show. Mm-hmm. And then the fifth one is like the hottest thing this season.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also another shonen show.
Or lately it's been an isekai.
Talk to us about isekai.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of isekais. Isekais have been flooded.
Yeah.
And I remember before where I was like, okay, a couple of these are pretty good.
It's big now.
It's super big now.
It's big now. There's
Unless you do like a refreshing take, like the one time I got reincarnated as a slime. Which is, it's good. It's a good isekai.
Yeah, it's refreshing. It's done differently.
What's up, Will?
High score girl. Yo, I was just about to talk about that.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay. What's going on with that?
We'll get to it.
Okay, cool. Later.
Yeah.
Too soon.
But no, isekai. Another one is the one that they've been hyping, which is that the Rising of the Shield Hero. That's the one that they're simuldubbing literally same day or next day of Japan, and it's just a genre that I don't remember which was the originator, but it just blew up. Like,
whatever. I was watching isekais because Borderline Digimon is almost an isekai before everyone else.
Oh my god,
is it not? Is it not? Just because they eventually are able to go back and forth, but those initial seasons they were not able to leave.
You're not wrong. It's a strange person in a strange world, or person in a strange world is essentially the
transported to a different world, a fantasy world. It's a digital world, but whatever.
Same difference.
Exactly. Hell yeah, Digimon over Pokemon. I said it.
Pokemon over Digimon, whatever.
Whoa, the new I Choose You Pikachu movie that dropped on Netflix was great. Did watch that with the kid. Deeply enjoyed it. You know, I felt slightly offended because I was like, I remember the first Pokemon movie, and you're trying to do very similar things, very feel similar things. It ain't gonna work. I am still dehydrated from the first movie.
Oh man!
When you see a grown ass Venusaur crying over your boy Ash, I was like, hey,
Venusaur.
Cut it out.
Oh my god!
Not ready for that.
Too funny.
Cut that out. Ridiculous.
So yeah, one of the biggest hypes from last year. Mm-hmm. You were either on board or you were torn from Ep 1. Goblin Slayer.
Figuratively, not literally. Goblin Slayer.
I enjoyed the crap out of this show, honestly. Mm-hmm. From episode 1 to episode 12. Episode 12. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
I did watch
one
this
filler
week.
episode. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, really? We have a recap episode and a 12 episode anime?
Yeah, that's not okay for a 12er. But
what are you doing? But yeah,
I feel like with Goblin Slayer, I feel like maybe they had 25 ready, or at least 25 like scheduled on ice, and then not all of it fully animated, and maybe that's why they did the filler.
It's possible.
And just whatever legal licensing streaming, they broke it up between 12.
It could be coming back. It's coming back in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly when it comes back, if they recently announced it, but at the very end of the season, it did say he will return.
He will return.
Goblin Slayer will return.
I assume that's an indicator that it already got greenlit, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, this thing came out. So I guess I want to talk about this because this had crazy amount of hype because of episode 1.
Yeah.
And controversy to a degree. And you had controversy on both sides of the spectrum. You had people like, oh my god, this isn't the isekai I'm used to, and it's offensive, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. I understand your gripes.
Yep.
I was briefly taken away. And then you have the complete other end, and I usually try to dive neutral territory, but complete other end, they're like, you haven't seen nothing. You think this is serious?
Yes, we got both ends of that.
I was molded in 86. I was like, what? You relax?
You think this is darkness?
Yeah. You obviously have not seen Devilman Crybaby on Netflix only.
That show did go way darker.
Yes. There are a couple things, if you want to be offended about, talk to Devilman Crybaby about.
There's a coworker of mine. He was like, Goblin Slayer, should I even do it? I was like, I'll warn you, episode 1 will make you feel uncomfortable. It gets intense. There's a lot, and there's a lot of violence in the show. He's like, is it worse than Devilman Crybaby? I'm like, no, that's way out there.
Yeah.
Dial that back a little bit, dial that back a few notches, and that's Goblin Slayer. He's like, all right, cool, I'll probably watch it. Well, yeah, Devilman Crybaby is out there. But no, so Goblin Slayer, what I really appreciated, so episode 1, it set the tone, I think, in a way people weren't expecting, and a way that was misperceived also. People think that first episode was too extreme on purpose, and I think it's the opposite. I think that first episode went that extreme to let you know that's the level of danger in this world permanently.
Yeah,
that's where we're going to be at.
This is not a like, it's terrible. I'm saying this. I'm looking right at the poster. We not here to be Sword Art Online right now.
No.
Okay.
Our hero is not going to have plot armor.
Yeah.
Where he can make it through every encounter flawlessly and be a genius hacker and randomly do stuff. And that's not what's going to happen.
And anyone who could potentially get murked in this show might get murked.
Yeah. And I felt like that's the tone that they set in episode 1.
No one is saying.
And throughout the 12 episodes, I felt it. Like there's situations where the group goes in and I'm like, oh, snap.
Someone might get murked.
Are we actually going to lose a character right now? Holy crap. And you see some of the characters like legit get rocked. I'm like, oh, snap.
Our main dude got rocked.
What is happening?
Spoilers.
What is happening?
They had to resurrect this dude.
Like, yeah, shit hits the fan in this show.
Yeah.
Multiple times. So that's the tone they set in episode 1. And I greatly appreciate the way that they kept that tone going.
Yes. I did appreciate that. I think eventually they did put like the whole like warning before the episode, which is fine. Maybe do that little head next time. Pre-screen it.
Yes.
I would say just pre-screen it so like not everyone and their mother writes an article about your first episode, which most people did.
Yep.
And I mean, it's whatever. I feel like this season, the hype simmered down slightly, but I still think this was a very strong anime.
Yes.
For a couple things for me, I appreciate that this wasn't an isekai. This is just a world.
It's pure fantasy.
We just jumped right into it. I did appreciate that the magical system in it wasn't over elaborate, nor did it require explaining. It was just like, oh, what can you do? I can do a healing thing.
I can do these 3 things.
Yeah, until I get more experience, then I get an extra spell or something. I'm spent for 24 hours. Okay, cool, straightforward, done. And then they do it. And I actually deeply appreciate that they showed all the fantasy elements for the most part, the multiple races, magic, potions. But it's weird to say, but this fantasy felt grounded.
Yes.
It didn't feel just blown over the top.
It wasn't
extravagant,
as many high fantasy creatures as there were in there. It wasn't high fantasy.
It wasn't.
Like, because there was a beholder in there at one point. Like, this is true D&D nerd stuff.
Yeah, it kind of was.
And it went out there, but at the same time, you're right. The show still felt very grounded. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because of we follow the perspective from a fighter,
yes,
if you will.
Yeah. And he's just like a very
single track
aware, but he's also a tactician too. Yeah. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go out every single morning. Oh, I see footprints. There's something wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, just like super basic things. And I'm like, this is cool, man.
I deeply enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I was okay with it. Did it deserve as much hype as it received, especially after initial episode? Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe. I would still kind of recommend this show. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would recommend it highly for intro. No. But for someone who's wanting something different, but still wants that fantasy element and doesn't want to dive into a more high fantasy like Overlord. Like, I would recommend Overlord for someone seeking fantasy versus the continuing letdown that is Sword Art. I would recommend that, or I would recommend Goblin Slayer.
I had a coworker tell me yesterday, he was like, the whole entire first half of this Sword Art is trash.
Oh, no.
He's like, it's great now, but you have to sift through a whole bunch. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't.
I cannot remember the name of the show. I can't. And I watched it weekly, and I'm still disappointed in myself. It was a show a couple seasons ago, and everyone woke up, and they had no memories. Grimgar Fantasy and Ash. This was a more grounded fantasy to a degree. It had more, like, character-heavy emotion, issues like that.
That show was beautiful.
And I will not recommend that show to my worst enemy. No, I will not.
I enjoyed multiple parts of that show. It ended so bad.
No, I just feel like I feel like it just never picked up.
It ended so bad for me. And it's one of those shows, because we talked about it before, how an anime ends is very, very important on
it's also the last thing you remember for the most part.
Yeah, like, and the way that show the way it finished up, it was highly disappointing.
I will recommend Goblin Slayer to a Catholic priest before I recommend Grimgar Fantasy Ash to my worst enemy.
Oh my God.
I'll be like, here, Father, check this out.
That's extreme, but yeah.
It's not extreme, it's just a recommendation. But continue on anime recommendations. Are we at the time for High School Girl?
Yeah.
High Score Girl.
High Score Girl.
Cannot speak. What's going on
Will
with
was
that?
telling us. High Score Girl, one thing that I found that was weird. It's a Netflix exclusive, so if you want to catch it, it's on Netflix. But the show is completely in CG. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with CG. We both watch CG anime. The weird part, though, is nothing about this show requires CG. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a bunch of fights. There's not anything that requires a lot of movement around. The characters even wear a lot of different clothes. At least the main character does. So I'm like, you did a lot of extra work. I feel like this would have been cheaper to do hand-drawn.
I feel like not always, because I feel like not always, and that's why we are seeing more CG-heavy anime or just like CG-heavy moments. Yeah. So, not to digress too much, but this was I know it was a gripe for you in Pocky.
Oh, man.
I didn't have an issue with the CG moments in Pocky if I felt they were actually necessary. They would have a CG moment where it's just like a character going into a punch or dodging a punch or something, and then immediately the next frame it's back to the traditional 2D drawn, and like
that was murdering me.
Okay, give me a whole scene or something.
Yeah, like the constant switch back and forth. I was like, you are.
But
pulling
it was
me out of this
so
fight.
short. Yeah, it was such a short duration, and so Pocky in itself, you're going there for the overreaching facial expressions, the actual human physical makeup of these fighters and beyond average fighters, and just even normal cops. I'm like, why is that cop jacked? Why does that cop have cheekbone muscles? Like, why is his jawline ridiculous? So you go in there and like you see someone squint and you're like, yo, that dude's eyelids have muscles. Like, it's just it's that's
over the top.
Yeah, that's what you go in there
Pocky.
for. That's what you go in there for.
Yeah.
And then they do a super brief CG cut, and it's just their facial expressions are non-existent. It's just matted, and maybe you'll have a hair animation. I'm like, no, what the hell did you just do?
It's jarring. It definitely pulls you out, and then you have to get back into it.
Yeah.
And that's the part I didn't like. It didn't animate bad, like not by any means. It was just very jarring. It pulled me out of the show a lot.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer for Pocky because Pocky was great the whole.
So I didn't watch all of High Score Girl. Just a couple episodes. A lot of it with you. Is it as short as it was referencing to Pocky, or was it with CG?
No, so the whole show is 100% CG.
Okay.
With the animation tricks of adding emotion on top of the CG hand drawn. Okay. Which is something that they did in the Gem Girl show that I can't remember the name from last year. Oh. Anyway, it's an animation trick where you do it in post production after the CG's done. So the whole show, High Score Girl, you got our main character. He's in 6th grade, I want to say. He's an arcade junkie. Yeah. He plays all the games. And his biggest game is Street Fighter 2 because it's set in 1991 when Street Fighter 2 came out. Yes. He's killing it. He's at the arcade on like a 20-win streak or something like that. This girl from his class sits down on the machine across for him because they have the rival machines. She picks Zangief and it completely obliterates him. And he's like, what the fuck? There's no way she's that good with Zangief. And he tries again and he gets obliterated again. No, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta keep watching this show. Right. And the whole show is about this kid kind of, it's a love story, if you will, told between those two over periods of time as they develop their love for gaming and the games that are coming out and how they interact with each other. That's the story that's being told. So you keep seeing all the games that come out. You see Darkstalkers, Super Street Fighter 2, all that kind of stuff. The arcade scene in Japan at that point in time. So it's a really cool otaku anime, if you will, for seeing the gaming culture in that area and all that. And I was reading about the manga. So apparently the manga either got canceled or got sued for using exact images from real games. Wow. You know, like, yeah, you can't do that. And I'm like, dang, this anime was too accurate. Wow. Yeah, so from what I've read, season 2 will be coming. I'm excited for it because it left on a cliffhanger.
And this is on
Netflix. Oh, Netflix is crushing it, like we've been saying.
We're going back. Nostalgia is amazing, Will. We're going back to Netflix.
Yes, the nostalgia in the show is great. Because, like I said, it's a period piece. It's in 91. We're in 2019. Watching these, like, legit, it brought me back to when I was, like, 6 years old, trying to beat my brother at Street Fighter. Of course, he's way more advanced at fighting games than I am, but nonetheless, I kept trying to win. And watching all these games and watching how they play the games is crazy. And by the way, it's called High Score Girl because she plays for points. That's what every game she does, she plays for efficiently to get maximum points.
That is not I.
But it's crazy because in fighting games, she still crushes you, getting maximum points.
Oh, that's rude. That's rude.
It's fantastic. The nostalgia's there. A great story being told. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. And I mean, I want to say all that's previous season stuff too. And we have a lot of stuff coming out this upcoming season.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot more anime for us to be talking about with everyone here. How the new season of Young Justice is going to develop. If you didn't catch that was the earlier part of this live session. Unfortunately, if you don't have DC Universe streaming, that's the only way you can watch it legally. We're not promoting any illegal streaming. But if you're asking me, hey, Cody, do I need to watch Young Justice? My answer is yes. Well, you watch the damn show.
Watch the
show. Almost right now by any means.
Do the thing.
Necessary. Do the thing. The blockbuster thing. But we got new Mob Psycho coming out.
Yes.
We got that second season of the gambling.
Yes.
Always butcher
Gambler
it.
Season 2.
Yeah, the compulsive gambler.
Oh man.
The same day dub by Crunchyroll, Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yes.
So there's a lot coming out.
Yes.
There's a lot coming out this season. There's a lot of things that we're gonna be talking about. So We did mention it in our last live stream right before the holiday season. We want to be doing these live sessions, interacting with you all much more frequently. Right now, we're looking at a bi-weekly schedule. If that turns into a weekly, more frequent thing, if we're getting responses like, hey, we actually want this more frequently, let us know. Comment this video. If you're not part of the Senpai Alliance, definitely ask to join. We're admins. We'll add you.
Absolutely.
Just read the rules.
Join the Alliance.
Join the Alliance. But we definitely want to be doing this more frequently. We want to be talking about things we're watching, upcoming things that we're going to be playing. I'm looking at you, Kingdom Hearts 3, January 29th. It's been way too long. Additionally, if you are a person who's doing local events in Orlando, we're not even asking for a promotion on your end. We're not even asking for freaking any monetary back. Just let us know what you're doing or invite us to the event. We'll go ahead and share that in the Alliance and on this live stream. So events at the Geek Easy, just local nerdy meetups, whatever you're doing, let us know. We love the nerdy community. Majority of them are our friends. So we're here to promote you guys and just get people in a conversation.
We do know a large number of the nerds in Orlando.
We do. Yeah, that we do. Even if I don't see you guys frequently, I still know you.
Yeah.
Know you live. Some of you. But yeah, outside of that, we appreciate everyone who came in, everyone who joined us, just having a conversation. We'll be sharing this as well. Be on the lookout. Convention season's coming up.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
So if you have been missing us during our panels in person, only thing I'm going to say is 2019 is looking very strong. So be on the lookout for that convention season. And yeah, we'll be in talk soon. Outside of that, we're going to do our little outro, play some decent tunes, and we will see you guys next time.
Next time.
They say when you're given the right form of motivation, you can grow to unimaginable heights and accomplish anything. It's just a titan in all of us. I go by the name of Richie Branson. I'm feeling like a titan, I'm hungry, I'm feeling famished for competition. I'm savage with madness, I've come to ravage the industry. Status quo, whose wallets remain fat and protected by massive walls. Living lavish, I will bring them sadness. There's no control in this hunger I've come to cope with. Richie kill them all behind every wall that I've kicked a hole in. No emotion, I'm focused when I'm in motion. Approaching your block like a swarm of locusts. You have lost, it's hopeless. I see right through your 3D maneuvers. Losers, I'm ruthless. I spent time with your troops learning your moves like Hoover. My treachery wasn't detected. You were clueless to the fact that you'll never get the best of me. You were foolish. Who got you thinking you were savior like Aaron Yeager? Thinking that your brigade is safer from devastation. I'm Richie, the most hated. I'm back from a long hiatus. I'm bum rushing the game like a titan that's armor plated. 3 for all the barriers have come to break. 2 for the minutes that I'll give you to escape. 1 for the top spot that I've come to take. Cause all it takes is one bite and everything will change. This that new otaku god flow. I'm killing all foes from Wall Marine